Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Aging with Community and Grace. I am your host, Lorraine Wyatt, and I'm here to talk about things that deal with our seniors in assisted living. Today, my topic is about helping your loved one adjust to assisted living. Um, some tips that I would have for you initially is to talk with your family members, have a consensus on who's going to participate in care. That would include, sisters, uncles, brothers, whomever, that will maybe help with making decisions or will help with coming to bring things to your loved one when they admit to the assisted living. Um, I would decide who is going to be the one who is going to hold power of attorney, whether that's in healthcare or in their finances. And I would sit down with your family members and come to some consensus about what you guys want or feel like your family member wants. You guys do need to talk to them to see what kind of measures that maybe they want to have if they should fall ill. Do they have a DNR? Do they want to be a full code and still be resuscitated via CPR? Those are the things that you need to discuss before placement, because putting them in the community and then family members debating with each other on who has the right to make those decisions or what the right decisions are is not the time to do it. I would say if you already have some family dynamics where the people who are going to be making decisions, or sometimes not even the ones who are making decisions, don't get along, that would be something that you need to figure out before admission. Because I will tell you, I've had some siblings that would fight with each other about whether or not they agreed if their loved one can have company, visitors, what kind of clothing they should wear, what kind of furniture they should have. And I've had to have a care conference with, and this person happened to be on hospice, with their hospice social worker to basically, I almost felt like I was chastising the daughters, because the whole goal that we all should share would be how to take care of their mother. It should be all about what's best for her, what makes her happy. Um, and that's the way it would be for every single resident coming in. So coming in and fighting with each other because you don't speak to each other, you don't agree on things, is not going to be an issue that I have any interest in participating in. Coming in, we should be able to talk and agree and figure out whatever we need to do that is best for your loved one. I am not going to get into your spats, and I will make that very clear. I will also make it very clear that my whole goal and my only goal is what's best for the person we are caring for. So, whatever family dynamics, if there are some family members you don't want to participate and you are the power of attorney, settle that before your family member comes to our community. Another tip that I would say is when it comes to choosing the items that you're going to bring to the community. Some residents are coming from their own homes or maybe your home, and the space that they're now going to be living in is much smaller. So there's no way that they can bring everything. You want to choose the right size bed for the area that they're going to be living. A couple of items to create a sitting space, sort of like a living room. So maybe a recliner, and a lift chair recliner is always the best. So I would say if you're contemplating about putting someone in a community, or if you're just thinking about buying a recliner or chair for a loved one, even if they're at home, a lift chair would be a good one to invest in, because ultimately, if they start having difficulty with standing or transferring from chair to chair, a lift chair is a good investment, especially if they're having knee problems. The lift chair will help to get them to a standing position and help you to transfer them, or the staff to transfer them from one area to another. It will also help to reduce falls, because it will assist us and standing them. We don't have to necessarily pull and tug on them, and it will make it a much more comfortable way of getting up for your loved one. Choose clothes that are appropriate for the season. And I would say plan to every season come and switch out their clothes. If it's summertime, yes, you're going to need to provide some clothes that'll be nice and cool for them to go outside in, because we will plan outings and activities that will involve them being outside. Bring them a hat, like a large brim hat that they can kind of protect their eyes from the sun. Bring them some sunglasses, but also provide sweaters, because then while inside, when the air is on, they may still get chilly. Think about that for their bedding. They still need to have a nice blanket or comforter to sleep with, because they're going to be sleeping with the air conditioning on, most likely. When it comes to their footwear, you want to get well-fitting shoes that have non-skid surfaces on them. So if it's going to be slippers, try to have slippers that have a back on them so that it can encompass their whole foot. But make sure it's something that they're not going to slip and slide with. When it comes to tennis shoes, you can get tennis shoes that don't have laces on them. They can just slide their foot in. Make sure it is well fitting and that it has a non-skid surface at the bottom. We don't want any sandals that have to go in between their toes. That will become a fall risk, and it can become an issue with skin breakdown in between their toes. So we don't want to do that. They will also need a couple of sets of sheets, so that if they're incontinent at night, or if something happens and they need to have their sheets changed, plus we do need to change them once a week, we want to have a couple of pairs to work with, so that while one is washing, we can put another set on the bed immediately and even have a spare. They need towels and washcloths, so please make sure that you provide those along with their toiletries. When you're looking at trying to set up their space, you want to get some pictures, family pictures, something that will make them feel like it's home. You want to recreate a home-like setting for them, as close to what they're used to, but because you can't bring everything, you want to be careful not to clutter their space. Having too many items in their space can be a fall hazard. And while, when we talk another time, we'll talk about residents' rights. Residents do have the right to fall, meaning, we can't tie them down anywhere. If they try to get up, we can try and encourage them not to if they need assistance. But we don't also want to aid in falling. So if you've got numerous ottomans and extra pieces of furniture in the room and coffee tables, and they basically are squeezing through everything to try and get to the bathroom, you're setting them up for a fall. There can be no area rugs or little throw rugs that are not, really secured down to the floor, because they will fall, they will slide. You want something that their walker or wheelchair is not going to get hung up on. You want to make the pathway as open and free from clutter as possible. Please do not bring money for them to keep in their wallet in the community. There may be times, and it's not even so much a worry about someone stealing it. Sometimes residents want to take their money out. They think they have to pay for everything. So let's say they're going to the dining room. They want to whip the money out. They feel like they have to pay for something. We try to encourage them, it's already been paid for. You don't have to pay for this right now. It's not like even though we try to have a restaurant type dining service, but they don't have to pay for their food right then and there. They may then take the money, put it in their pocket. It might go in the washing machine, or it might fall out. They might roll it up in some tissue, and then it's gone. So there really is no reason for the residents to have money Yes, there are vending machines, and if that's going to be the issue, you want to have the least amount of money there, that if they want to use it for the vending machine. But I would say if you are more prepared for them, you can, or to be more prepared for them, you can go to the grocery store, buy the kind of things or snacks that you know that they would like. Um, so then going to the vending machine is not even an issue. If you live far away, DoorDash, Instacart, or Amazon supplies to the community. Make sure it has their name addressed on it, and then we'll make sure it gets to their room. But there's no reason that they need to have money on site. If there's some special event that they're going out to, like a concert or something, we'll figure out arrangements with the family in order for them to have, if they need money to go to the event. We don't have resident accounts where we hold their money. That can get too messy. So I wouldn't even plan on trying to leave money like with the concierge at the front desk or with any staff member. No money. Expensive jewelry. Please do not bring expensive jewelry into the community. Um, yes, we want them to be able to dress well. And I'm not even talking about like their wedding rings or things like that. If they're still wearing them, let them wear them. But if it's something that's going to be sitting in a drawer for forever and it's your great grandmother's heirloom ring or diamond earrings or something like that, none of that is needed um, in the community. Um, there may be a way for you to have something in a lockbox maybe in the room, but if it's not something that they normally wore or did anything with when they were at home, there's no need to bring it into a community. Now let's switch to managing stress of the caregiver. So I'm not talking about the caregivers that are in the community. I'm talking about you, the family member, who have been the caregiver of this loved one, who is making decisions for them, who is involved and a partner in care with us. There are times from the time you admit them that you're going to feel like you have to hover, you have to make sure they're okay, you have to be there every day, and you don't. We do not want you to show up every single day at all times of the day and night, hovering over your loved one. Your family does not want to be a burden to you, so they don't want you doing all that. Now, there are some that, for instance, let's say if your mother or father, sister or brother, whomever is there, would always give you a guilt trip when they were still at home. It doesn't stop when they come into a community. If anything, they can make you feel even more guilty. So you have to be emotionally aware of that and what those triggers may be for you and what it might prompt you to do. Don't allow it to manipulate you to come up to the community, start yelling at everybody, and then you find out it's not even exactly the way it was presented. Try to have an open mind. Talk to your loved one that has been placed. If you are ready to go on a vacation, go on your vacation. If you have to go to the kids, recital or basketball game, go to the game. If they want to go on the trip but unfortunately can't go on the trip, it's okay if you still go. Don't feel bad because you are still living your life. If anything, you have to. That's the only way to balance all of this. You have to go and still live your life, participate with your children. But I would definitely say do come visit. Come in and visit, even if it's once a week, if it's a couple times a week, even if it's still every day. But still go and do things for yourself. When it comes to um, having communication. So let's say if you live out of town and you can't come as often as you would like, and that starts to make you feel guilty. Provide your loved one with a tablet or a phone where they can make video calls or accept video calls from you. If they are unable to manage that technology themselves, just coordinate with the facility that they're in to help them to make those calls or accept those calls and help your loved one to be able to be seen or to talk to you on video. What was I going to say? I'm sorry, I'm going to check my notes a little bit here. Oh, if you are close enough to come visit, please visit. Bring the children, bring the grandchildren. Um, they do love visitors and they do love to see children. So please make sure that you come in, um, spend some time with them. It doesn't have to be an entire day, and it does not have to require you trying to take them out to some expensive restaurant. I know for families, or not family, for Mother's Day, we had some residents feel like they needed to coordinate going out to an expensive restaurant, especially for their loved one with dementia. Um, that loved one is not thinking about how much you spent on food that they may or may not eat. In those instances, less is more. Just spend time, bring their favorite food, anything like that, but just spend time with them. And that's what's most important. Send cards, send flowers, send their favorite foods. With all of that said, I'm going to stop there, and then we will have our next couple of topics soon. We will be talking about aging gracefully and what does that mean, and when memory fades, supporting your loved one who has dementia and the rest of your family to understand what that looks like when they come to visit. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. Take care of yourself and have a good time. Bye.